This is We the Sales Engineers podcast, show 285.
Welcome to We the SEs podcast, the show for sales engineers by sales engineers with your host, Ramzi.
What's up, SE Nation? Welcome back to another video or another podcast. I am your host, Ramzi. If you don't know me, I'm a sales engineer out of Ottawa, Canada, and I'm a solution specialist out of Ottawa, Canada, and I like to talk about sales engineering. Now, a common topic that's coming up right now, and I see posts on LinkedIn, I have people messaging me all the time, is I am applying and no one's responding. I am putting in my resume, never hear back from anybody. I have so many years of experience as a sales engineer, and it just sneezed. I have so many years of experience as a sales engineer, and no one's giving me the time of day. Is it my resume? Is it my LinkedIn? What should I do? And the main reason I'm doing this video, I have done podcasts in the past about I'll apply to jobs and all that, but it's a tough situation, and I want people to know that they're not alone. And I want to share some thoughts, some rules that I live by, and I want to provide a step-by-step plan in order to get a job, or at least get as close as possible to get a job. If anyone guarantees you a job, they're lying to you. So here are some thoughts about jobs or job applications or getting a job, if you will. Number one is set your expectations. It is a tough market. I mean, you talk to some people, they say there's a shortage of sales engineers. You talk to other people, they say people are applying up the wazoo. LinkedIn is kind of a deceptive place. When you go on any job application or job description, you see 300 people applied, and they have the easy apply button. How many of them are good applications? I don't know. How many people just clicked easy apply and then nothing happened? Are they even looking for a job at that point? I don't know. So it is a tough market. And the thing is, you're competing against many people, right? And even if you're great, if someone just shows that they're a little better at one aspect, they have one extra certification, someone liked them a little bit more, like one person liked them a little bit more, they're cheaper, a better cultural fit, whatever that means, they fit a quota in terms of race or gender, then you're out, potentially. Right? It's not fair, it's just the way it is. You're not competing against yourself only, you're competing against others. So you may have done everything well, you may have killed it, someone could have killed it a little bit more and they got the job. And they don't tell you. So expect to be ghosted. I've worked with several people, experienced SEs, who get to the final stages and they're ghosted. Now, that could be because the company is talking to some other potential SEs and they like them and they want to see if they're going to accept their offer before they reject you, or they're just bad at responding to people. Or it could be that you got called by a third-party recruiter, they said you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, promised you an interview, and then nothing happened and they just didn't know what to say. I'm going to turn on the light. So expect to be ghosted. And when you expect to be ghosted, you're fine when you're ghosted and you prepare for it. And which means basically don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't say that this is the job for me. I'm not going to interview anymore because I know I'm going to ace this job. You never know. Add more opportunities to the funnel. As sales engineers or as someone applying for a job, it's different than being in sales and sales engineering in the sense that you only need one opportunity to close to hit your quota, whereas as salespeople and SEs, you may need multiple. So just one. All you need is one. The interview process takes months. So that's the third thought that I want to share. I've talked to people who come to me and say, I want to be an SE in the next couple of months. Not going to happen. The interview on its own takes 3 to 6 months, unfortunately. I've had discussions with many recruiters about this, with many SE leaders. So this is just the way it is. It's not fun, but it takes months. I have a podcast about interview process. So I'll leave a link somewhere in the show notes. Just it takes time, so set your expectations. If you want a job, right now I'm recording this in September. If you want a job by New Year's, then it's not going to happen, because as of December, everyone's on vacation. October, many people have new fiscal years, so they're closing deals, they're busy. Everything affects a job interview. A hiring manager goes on vacation, a recruiter goes on vacation, an SE who was supposed to interview you goes on vacation. A salesperson, anybody who's not available affects the interview, so it takes longer. So if you're looking for a job, just make sure you understand it will take some time. Right? So here's some rules. Right. I talked about the complaints. No one's responding to my resume. No one's talking to me. I shared some thoughts. Here are some rules to follow. Resumes don't get you jobs. People do. Right? Every interview is a discovery call for you. Every interview is a negotiation. You have to bring something to the table. So, okay, let's go back. Resumes don't get you jobs. People do. You go on LinkedIn, look at the job applications. There's 20, even if there's 16 in the job applications, that's 16 people fighting for that same job. And they're probably going to talk to the people that were referred by someone, not random people off the internet. Right? That's one. So get referrals. I guess that's the whole purpose of this sentence. Meet people so that they can get you jobs. The first job I got, I think I've told the story before. I graduated from university in 2009, was out of a job from May 2009 to October 2009. I went to a barbecue in the August timeframe, end of August, where I met someone who got me a job. I had been applying to the same jobs throughout those 4 months, even before I graduated university. Nothing. As soon as I met someone, I got a job. Or at least I got an interview, and then I got the job. Every interview is a discovery call for you. When you're chatting with a hiring manager, he or she has a problem they're trying to solve. They're either lost someone, or they're growing pretty quickly, or their salesperson, the salesperson supporting a region, is complaining a lot about their SE, and they're hoping to see if they can hire somebody else. What is the problem that they're trying to achieve? Right? Trying to fix? What are they looking for? If they're looking for someone with 20 years experience, then you might not be the right fit if you're brand new. If they're looking for someone junior and you have 20 years of experience, you might be overqualified. If they're looking for the first SE in a company, and I just had a conversation with someone, they're looking for the first SE in a company, they want someone who fits the culture, has experience, and I don't know what that means, fits the culture, but it seems that they're more interested in people fitting the culture. So the goal is to find out what it means to fit the culture. What is it that they're looking for? You get some information from some people. You just have to do a proper discovery. So when you develop your answers, when you're talking to them, when they're asking you questions, when they're doing their own discovery on you, you'll be able to answer the questions in a way that may help them decide that you're the one. And what also you need to find out if you would want to work with this SE manager, or you would want to work with this salesperson. If you're doing a discovery call and the SE manager is saying, yeah, we're looking for someone to help with our customer when they buy stuff, we want them to implement it. I'm like, I'm out. I just unqualified the deal for me. I don't want to be an implementations engineer, for example. And the list goes on. There are many things that we want. If they're looking for the first SE in a company, you've never been an SE, you should qualify yourself out right then and there. If they're looking for someone to just be a sales support and you've been an SE for 20 years and you've been a partner to SEs, then that is not the role for you either. So find out what's important for them. Every interview is a negotiation. When you start talking to the recruiter, they're trying to find out how much they can pay you. SE managers, my understanding is they don't want to underpay sales engineers. Right? They have a range that they need to stick to. That's the corporate way of doing things. But you, when you're trying to get the best salary you can, you want to be on the upper end of that range. Every time you're talking to them, every time you're highlighting your value, you're trying to push yourself a little bit higher. You might not be asking, saying like, "Hey, give me all the money," but you might be showing that you have the passion or the compassion or whatever it is that you need to get as high a salary as possible. Also, you might not want to negotiate on price, right? You want to negotiate on vacation days. You want to negotiate on working remotely. There are many things beyond just the salary that's important to negotiate. You might be able to take a little bit less of a salary, but say, "Hey, I'll work 6 months a year from Mexico, which is a little bit cheaper." So you can do that. Just start every time you talk to the manager, you're negotiating. So don't shoot yourself in the foot. Chris White always talks about how sales engineers shoot their product in the foot, shoot themselves in the foot by saying something negative about the product. Same with you. If there's something negative about you, you don't have to highlight it to them so they can use it in the negotiation against you. And you should bring something to the table. Many people come to me and say, like, "I have no technical experience, I have no sales experience, I have nothing. How can I get in the job as an SE?" Potentially. I mean, why? You'd have to do a lot of work to be able to get into sales engineering, maybe get some certifications, but you have to bring something to the table, whether it's passion, right? Whether you help them out in some way. And right now, when they're trying to hire someone, they say, like, "This person did so much work for us, we're going to give them the chance to become an SE." Right? You have to bring experience. You have to bring either experience, passion, technical skills, soft skills, knowledge, industry knowledge, customer knowledge. You have to have something that would differentiate you from somebody else. Again, you're not competing against yourself. If you come in with nothing, they're going to take someone who has something. So, these are the rules that I want you to understand. If you don't have anything, then start working on something. Build an application. Learn AWS. Learn Azure, GCP. Learn something. So at least you can show them that you can learn. If you have the opportunity to work in a position where you work with vendors vendors are trying to sell into you, now you have the customer experience. Just find something that you can add to the table. Now here's the step-by-step plan that you should follow. At least I think you should follow. Feel free to do so or not do so at your own behest. I don't know if that's a sentence. I used it, so go with it. Step-by-step plan to get the job. Number one, meet as many people as possible. So this is all information I provide to my clients, right? And I'm giving everybody everything right now because I want people to understand this. I want people to know. And again, if you want some more information, you can reach out to me anytime. If you want to check out the SE hotline, you can do that as well. So connect with as many people on LinkedIn as possible. Rule number one that I have for my clients is max out your connection requests on LinkedIn. I think it's 100 connection requests a week. Max it out. And start connecting with people. Right? You can also find meetups in your area, a couple hours away from your area, and attend those. And some would say, "Oh, it's too far." Fine. That means you just don't want the job or you don't care enough to get the job. If you're in a job where you're comfortable and you're happy, by all means, don't do any of this. But if you want a job, like you really want a job, you have your why ready, you might want to drive a couple hours to meet some people. SE and Y, they haven't done a meetup in a while, but they might be doing one soon. Check out their Slack channel. PreSales Collective, they have some meetups. Check out their Slack channel. Check out their website. Just meet people in person. Go on Slack channel. I prefer SE and Y's Slack channel just because it's a tight-knit group. You get to build relationships, whereas PreSales Collective is so big, you might get lost in the shuffle. If you want big, go there. Go wherever you think is best for you. Go everywhere, actually. And just start meeting people. And if you don't have meetups to attend, if everything's far, maybe you can start your own meetup. Call some people up, say like, hey, I'm not an SE, but I'm interested in becoming one. I'm planning on doing a meetup in my area for experienced SEs. I want to connect you with experienced SEs. I'll get something out of it as well. Would you be interested? And have like 10 people at a coffee shop. It doesn't have to be like an official meetup somewhere. So you can just basically, bottom line, start meeting people. Go out there, go to barbecues. That's where I got my first job. Go to where professionals meet. It doesn't have to be an SE meeting. It could be anything. It could be salespeople. Anybody. Meet everybody. The second step is get meetings. When you're reaching out to people on LinkedIn, when you go meet people in person, request a meeting to pick their brain about the role, try to understand what their job is, the company they work for. Is it fun? Would they recommend it to people? What is it that you need to get the job? Are there skills you're missing? I mean, I'm in networking. If I want to go into IT, they probably tell me like, hey, you have to go study Linux, AWS, something to get you to the job. So be a learner, be a student, and just start asking questions. And then you should ask if a job comes up, would they be willing to refer you? Okay. It doesn't always work. Some people say, no, I've never met you before, I'm not going to refer you. And that's fair. Be respectful of that. But most people will say like, sure, if there's a job posting, I'll refer you. So now you bypassed, we go back to rule number one, is that now people are trying to get you a job. And you have to make a positive impact during that call. One mistake people make when they're meeting new people or other people is trying to extract everything from them. I want information. I want knowledge. I want your time. And don't offer anything in return. What can you offer? Right? See what you can offer and offer that. Like, hey, maybe you know an SE somewhere else that you can introduce them to. Right? Maybe say like, hey, I can introduce you to Ramzi. He is always looking for guests for the podcast. Wink, wink. By the way, if you want to be a guest on the podcast, let me know. I can do that for you. So you're adding value. You're not just taking. And if you know a good candidate for their company somewhere else in the world that's not where you are, and they would be a good fit, make that introduction. And then end every call or every meeting with, who in your network do you think I should meet, or it's important for me to meet? And can you broker that introduction? So that's the second step. The third step is, after you've done the first two, you're going to get interviews. Right? And you want to get as many interviews as humanly possible to bypass, what was it, thought number two or step number two, like thought number two. You're going to be ghosted, right? Get as many meetings as possible, as many interviews as possible, so that if you get ghosted in one, you just move on to the next one and you don't have to worry. I understand that interviews are hard, they're not fun. Being rejected is not fun. Again, you only need one. And in this market, you might only get one, if any. So just keep that in mind. The next one might be the one. So keep talking to people. If you're getting interviews, keep reaching out to people, connecting with them, keep getting meetings with them, so you can keep getting interviews. Okay? It's lead generation for your own life, your own business. Now, fourth step is ace them, which is easier said than done. How do you ace an interview? Well, there's a few things you should do. One, prepare the interview. Prepare for the behavioral questions. Part of the courses that I have, a bunch of questions that are usually asked and how to answer them and how to tell stories. There's a STAR method, which I don't like because it's so, how do I say it? It's emotionless, right? You will talk about the situation, talk about the task, actions, and response. You need to tell stories. Maybe use that STAR framework to tell stories and prepare those stories and practice them. You only need to prepare 2 or 3 stories, and when they ask you questions, even if they're not the same questions you prepared for, you can use those stories for those questions and answer different parts of it. Download the freemiums that are available for each company. If you're like Splunk, they have a freemium. Most companies have a freemium that you can use. And if they don't, then you get to watch YouTube videos. Congratulations. You watch their CEO speaking in a sales kickoff. You watch all the information you can about that company, so that when you're talking to the SE manager and they ask you, hey, what do you know about the company? You can share information. Or why are you looking at this company? Which is two questions that are asked. You can share. Now, I don't know which third thing you should do as part of acing the interview is take notes and follow up with responses. This is why you're looking for an SE. This is when you're looking for them. These are the qualities of the SE you're looking for. This is how I fit into your schedule. These are the questions that you asked that I didn't know how to answer on the spot. This is the answer to the questions. Because guess what? If you're an SE and the customer asks you a question you don't know the answer to, you're going to follow up with an email with those answers. You do the same thing in an interview. And negotiate a great salary. So all that is actually part of the negotiation process. And in the end, you ask for what you want. But yeah. And the last step is pay it forward. Don't wait till you're here to pay it forward. If you're getting interviews, pay it forward. If you're getting meetings, pay it forward. If people are accepting your connection request, pay it forward. Gary Vee talks about jab, 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 right hook, which basically means give, 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 and then ask. That's pretty much it. Like you're giving, and at a minimum, at least giving feels good. For anyone who's given knows that feeling. So these are the things that you need to do. Now, again, if you're looking for coaching, talk to me. Let me know. I'm willing to help. I'm happy to help. Whether you're looking for a job or you want to get better as an SE, I'm helping people in both camps. So let me know. I'm here. And again, if you want to be on the podcast, let me know. And I got nothing else to say. So with that, I'm signing off.